So welcome, everybody, to the second hour of Mind Shifters Radio. Today is Friday, it's been a fast week, October the 6th, 2023. And our call-in number is 563-999-3581, and press 1. And that puts you into queue to talk to us, and we would love to hear your comments and questions, because that makes this your show. And Celinda, your hand was up yesterday, and we pressed to turn your microphone on, but then you weren't there, so we didn't know if it was just a leftover hand up from Dr. Tim's show, or if you wanted to talk and we weren't connecting. So I've got your microphone on now. Hope you're doing well. Celinda, well, I guess it's going to do it to us again. Okay. Well, we'll give Michael just a moment to dial in. And I'm going to turn your microphone back off, Celinda, and if you want to talk, then press 1, and it'll put a hand back up again. But, there you are. So welcome to the show. We connected yesterday.
I was making my bed, running back and forth from getting the covers and stuff. And so all of a sudden I heard this faint, Celinda, Celinda. So I ran over here as fast as I could.
Well,
thank goodness I live in a motorhome.
We did that yesterday. We turned on your mic because we weren't sure if it was left over from talking to Dr. Tim or if you wanted to talk. But then we never heard you. We kept saying hello, but anyway, so I'm glad we connected.
I must have run outside to get something or something. I just heard Tim say yesterday if you have been talking and your microphone is on or your hand is up, then turn it off.
Right.
And so you would know. So I tried to do that today, but I must have done it at the wrong time. Maybe I need to do it as soon as you come on. Anyway, it's all
that's
good.
okay.
It's all good.
Good. Well, Michael is with us now. So welcome, Michael. Celinda's with us.
Hello, dear Michael.
Awesome. Welcome, young lady. We lost you yesterday. So how do you be? What's exciting in your world? How can we support you today?
What's exciting in my world is, I'll tell you in just a second. I had a quick question to ask Jeanie. Jeanie, I sent you 2 or 3 pictures of when I was in Japan. Did you get those all right? I texted them to you.
Yes, ma'am, I did. Thank you.
Was that appropriate? I mean, I had mentioned to Aria Rain, and I'm really pokey because we're running around being squirrels here in the fall. But I just wondered if that was appropriate, because I would send more. And if she's visiting sometime, maybe you could call me and I could do a little more fun explanation, background for her than I could put in the text. But what do you think? Has she been able to see them yet?
I got them after I had taken her home. We do get her again today. So we're planning a photograph of Nene and Papa and Aria today, and she's keeping it a secret. So
good. How fun.
Yeah, so when I pick her up from school, we're going to do that. We took her shopping the other day and let her pick out her own outfit that she was going to wear in it. And so we're excited to do that with her today.
Well, I have, between my not wanting to get on the computer or electronics too much, and I'm on the phone quite a bit with the shows and stuff, just because the energy fields I don't care for, and because of my eyes that I'm working with. I just wanted to make sure I get a backlog, and I just wanted to make sure that that's something that she really enjoys, and then whenever, there's no hurry, because I got more pictures to send if she really likes that.
Okay. It just, it's funny because some days she'll be all into something. Like the other day we had these dinosaur eggs, and you get them wet and then you chip them open, and she was all excited and she loved it and she had such a good time. Well, we've got 11 more of those eggs, and she's yet to be interested in cracking another one.
Yep, just to wait to be inspired, right?
Yep, so we just wait, it's like, okay, one of these days she'll want to do it again.
Yeah,
following her guidance.
Like all of us. It's like every one of us, right? What I want to share with you, Michael, was how touched I was about with your conversation and Dr. Tim's conversation with Susan yesterday. And partially touched because there's so many things that Susan says that I say, I know that one. I know that one. And so
that's me too.
But when you cried, it was almost like a confirmation for my self-work, where I have come to realize I cry over everything. I am so sensitive. I can go to a horse race and cry. So go figure. When I'm expressing love towards someone, I get so wrapped up in that feeling that I cry. And to realize, and I came to the realization that tears come from all different reasons, intentions within ourselves, body intentions, not body feelings. And what I realized was a deeper element to that. It's like we have tears of gratitude, we have tears of thankfulness, we have tears of beauty and tears of joy and tears of excitement, and then all the negative tears, all the tears of sorrow and grief. And grief is shame and grief, deep grief and regret are my primary drive. Guilt, those four: regret, grief, guilt, and shame those are my core issues. And that includes never being good enough and everything else. So what I realized was chemically the tears are different depending on what we're crying for or because of. But behind that joy, behind that gratitude, and behind all of those positive tears is a deep healing process. It hit me in the gut. A deep healing process, because the grief is coming out, the shame is coming out, the regret, the guilt, all of these negative feelings, these ancient energies that are tucked in ourselves are coming out. At least for me, that's the sense I get. The body
and the
awareness.
The eyes and the tears are definitely a way of detoxing for sure.
Right, and so we can be grateful and we can have healing grief come out of us at the same time through the very same tears, like the multi-purpose. And I just wanted to share that with you and
thank you.
Susan, and because it was a real shift for me. It's not an either-or situation. Life is not either-or. I've decided it's this and that.
We're rocking along.
It all. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you.
Well, is there any of that you're going through we can support you with today?
I'm going to the garden and try to dig my bulbs, my garlic bulbs, into this very hard ground. So think of me. I came home in a sweat and exhausted yesterday. So it's going to be fun.
Oh, if we were only closer, we would come out and dig garlic bulbs with you.
Oh, wouldn't that be sweet? Well, if I get a big fat elephant garlic bulb next year, I'm going to send it to you and Jeanie. And you can plant
Well, actually, I'll just suggest that you hold on to it. We don't do garlic anymore.
Oh, you don't do
garlic?
Okay.
Stop eating garlic, yeah.
Did it bother you?
No bother. Just learning more about it and working with building and preserving the microbiome and recognizing that garlic is a pretty powerful antibiotic, and in a situation where there's some sort of an infection or something, it can be quite useful, but not so sure how beneficial it is to the microbiome just on a normal basis. So on that basis, I've chosen to stop using it. And onions too, to a degree, although we still do a few onions, green onions or something like that. But those things that are kind of natural antibiotics, we sort of drop them off and to focus on building the microbiome, which is a real key to health, I think.
Yeah, that's good. I'd love to investigate that more with you. One of the things I've realized is that garlic helps keep my candida down, so I do use it. And with my lung conditions, I also do, because what do they call it? Russian penicillin, right? That's what the Russians use to deal with any influenza or anything along that line, too.
It's an antibiotic.
So it helps me right now. Oh, yeah, definitely. But I honor and I'm curious to know how you are in building your microbiome and your gut more. So
all of the above.
Sometimes, pardon?
I say all of the above.
Okay. So sometime we'll talk about it. That would be great. Thank you so much. I think I'm complete.
All right, young lady, you have a blessed one.
Carry on, you two. You're very precious, as is Dr. Tim and all of us. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, Miss Jeanie. We have 2 new videos on the website.
We do,
we had talked earlier
on
in the
their
week
YouTube channel.
Right. We talked about this group in New York who somehow they came up with me, found me, and offered an award of Business Person of the Year within the context of their bailiwick, and as a result did 2 interviews with a woman named Jill Nicolini, who's a TV personality in New York, who's been on things like Sex and the City, TV show, that sort of thing. And one of them was basically, each 30 minutes. The first one, we laid out the forgiveness process. That was kind of the question of what is it that you do? We want to put it out to our audience, and they're supposed to be playing it on same places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all of that. So, and then the second one, we were explaining. We got into doing the forgiveness process and ended up with a couple of technical glitches at the beginning of it. So got halfway through a worksheet and ran out of time. So just ended up doing the last steps of the worksheet in about 45 seconds and a slide of resources. So if you want to look at that, you can go to whyagain.org, and where would they find it, Jeanie, if they want to take a look? The second hour, the way it was cut short didn't work very well, but the second half hour. But the first one, the comment Jeanie, she was listening in the background, the comment Jeanie made was, you got a lot in there in 30 minutes, so it is a pretty concise picture of the forgiveness work.
Okay, they can either look at the notes for today. They go to the website. There is a link at the top that's called multimedia, and under multimedia there's a watch and listen free, and it's under the radio TV interview downloads. And if they go to our YouTube channel, it'll probably be the 2 most recent ones that pop up.
Awesome. Well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of results come about. They're supposed to have a podcast audience of something like several 100,000 people, and they're supposed to play each of these videos 200 times in the next year. So we'll see what it does to our audience. And beyond that, do we have anybody on the phone queue with a hand up, sweetie, or anybody in the chat room with a thought for us?
Susan has her hand up, and 610, you're on the air.
Awesome.
Hello.
Love it. Welcome, young lady.
Thanks for your text, Michael. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't say anything, but how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I was doing really well yesterday with everything that was moving. When I sent you that text after the show, it was a text of appreciation for what opened up in me and what opened up for me. So
Good.
it just moved some energy at a pretty deep level. Actually, I don't know, you may remember on a radio show, I've shared it maybe once or twice since we've been doing this show, but back about 21 or 22 years ago, I was out in Arizona speaking at a religious conference, and I flew in, and there were some people who were putting me up, and I went into a healing crisis that was probably the most severe I've ever had, and the people that I was staying with actually were concerned that I was going to die. My healing crisis was that severe. The symptoms were that severe. It was a space where I really cleared out a lot of my old lung stuff, but it was like pretty severe. And when I came into the airport, I'd rented a car, and they had also flown in. They had a timeshare type or a condo type place that we were staying at, and nobody else had a car but me, and I was really, extremely symptomatic, and nobody else was insured to drive the car, and they had to go out and get food. So I drove, and I sat in the parking lot of the food store while I went in to get food, and I had this deep grief-stricken wail come out of me, like oh my God. And they had shown that morning a video of a woman who was giving her testimony, but her testimony was that when she was a kid, she and her brothers were around a campfire, and her brother threw some gasoline in the fire, and she was really severely burned and like really maimed as a result of it. And the video, she shared some of the attacks, some of the degradation that she went through growing up as a teenager. And it was really gut-wrenching, and it wrenched my gut. It really showed me some stuff. And, all the years I've been doing this work, and it kind of ties in another way in the conversation yesterday, because all the years I've been doing this work, it's always been, I'm staying for eternity. Let's go for it. We're gonna make this available to every mind, heart, and being on the planet. That's just always been my commitment. But sitting in that parking lot that day, this wailing that came out of me, and the thought that came with it, the expression that came with it was, I want to go home. I don't want to go back where people treat each other like human beings. Enough of this already. So it was kind of akin to that. It was another level of that, another piece of that for me. So it was good. And then after I breathed for about an hour and a half and was complete with the processing of that, it was time to get out and get my feet on the earth and just get grounded. So that's what I did. But appreciation for the conversation that you opened up and the spaces that it went to. It was really...
Well, you did that. You did that, because I couldn't possibly tell or recall what might have from this end. Something happened. It's amazing, though, isn't it? What happens to us? Yeah, it sounds good.
It was the right environment. It's that, again, that's the power, as we were talking about with Terry, that's the power of community, the gift we have to give each other. And, when you can't get there on your own, I'm here to be the support and maybe can help you do it, and vice versa. When I can't, there you are. And that's the power of community to me. That's in that story we've talked about often about the woman who says, I just need to touch the hem of his garment. What she was talking about is I need the vitality of this person or this support or this community. And to me, that's what happened yesterday, and that's what we're here to do with and for each other. And everybody's included, all of us.
Yeah, I'm glad you can use that. I picture you and Dr. Tim as just giving, and the idea that you could get something. And I don't really, it's not that extreme, but I like to think we are also contributing, and that was an affirmation. Not that we know how to do it or even intend anything in particular, but it's good.
definitely powerful, and I assure you that both Dr. Tim and I and Jeanie are on an ongoing basis continuously doing our own work.
Oh, I know
it's
you
not
are.
a one-way street.
Yeah. No, I know you are in general, but you're in the giving mode. I'm glad the road leads both ways at least sometimes. That's good.
Well, I love what Richard Bach says in his book Illusions. We teach best that which we most need to learn. So
no, that is so true. Yeah.
You know what it is that I need to learn. Here I am. I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'll come downstairs. I can stay here, but Michael and Tim is taking Michael to a gig, and Tim's going to stay there and listen to him. But Michael's dog hasn't been acting very healthy, and so I'm dog sitting, so I can dog sit and still listen. And
well, we'll hold space for both you and the dog, and for Michael to have a great experience getting out into the world and building his courage.
I know. This is good. All right. So.
Well, anything else on your mind for today, young lady?
Well, there's always, Michael. Has anybody got a hand
Well,
up?
go for it. We're here.
I want to ask you a question, but also tell you. I tried to do that mind shifter. I started out with great vehemence for about 3 sentences, and I feel as if I turned into Rumpelstiltskin and was just jumping up and down, and I jumped right through the floor. But what I jumped into was a completely different take on that mind shifter. All of a sudden, I could say, in every possible way, they did see me. And I remembered incidents. It wasn't just being, a Pollyanna. I remembered my mother taking me to piano lessons with all the mending in a basket. She'd sit there and darn socks while I took my lesson. Or driving me to teach ballet when I was too young to be doing it, but we opened a little school. She would be my pianist. She managed the students, communicated with the parents, helped them build costumes when we did a little show. She was tireless. And other times when she tried to get me to open up to her, and I've talked to you about that, how I didn't open up. She was open. I was not. And anyway,
awesome insights.
They really were helpful. It's like balancing a boat. I just felt so much love for them and appreciation of them, and somehow the bad things that happened got greatly reduced. Bye, Tim. Good luck. Have fun. Tell Michael I'll go down every few minutes and check on the beast. Okay. All right. Hi, Jack. Yeah, we're having Animal Week. We put down a dog, and I have a cat with a tumor in his liver, I think, and we're taking care of him. And life goes on in the weirdest way. Well, he's comfortable, and he's still eating a little. Anyway, I won't, Anyway, I just wanted to say, is that legitimate, or did I resist your assignment?
Can I add?
Please, go for it, Jeanie.
It reminds me of a lady. I think we were in Seattle, Washington. I don't remember. And I was doing some private sessions with this lady from the church, and she could not think of a good thing about her mother. I mean, every worksheet we did was about her mother, but at that time, the worksheet was a little bit different, and it actually asked you to name something. I don't even remember now how that was worded, Michael, but it was something like something loving that you can think about that person, and something loving you can think about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
right, that was the way to document you'd set Rachma.
Right, and she could not think of anything. Yeah, and she couldn't think of anything good to say about her mom. And finally, I don't know how many sessions we had, finally she had the memory of her mother making cookies just for her. It wasn't like she was making them for a party and she got some of them. Her mother made the cookies for her. And I said, okay, hang on to that thought. If that's the only good thought you can think about her, then put that thought down every time we do a worksheet. And it wasn't hardly any time that all of a sudden, and I've just got goosebumps, all of a sudden she could think of all kinds of good things. But it was like she was so set before on how bad her mom was that the good about her mom couldn't even enter. And once she opened that door just a little bit and let that one thought about the cookies come in, it seemed like it just opened the floodgates for her. And that's what I thought of when you were sharing that.
Hey, yeah. And brilliant idea to keep putting down that positive thought until it sort of took hold and kicked in. And wow, good going, Jeanie.
Oh, good going for you, too. That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's an awesome piece of work.
Thanks. It was
what I hear you describing,
right?
Yeah, what I hear you describing is you moved out of whichever of the hostility or fear, whichever filter you were in, into Rachma. And it's Rachma that is the first law. So you just achieved a new state, I would offer, if that's what I hear, in regard to your mother. And that's where the healing happens. Moving out of the hostility or fear, which only shows you things irritating or threatening, into Rachma, which means Kuba is set, which means that your perception now can show you that which is based in love about the object of your attention. And that's the objective. So, that, to me, that's right on. And Jeanie opened the show yesterday talking about a client she'd been working with, and how he just stopped in his tracks when he's doing a worksheet as though he's his mom, and through his mom's eyes looks at him and realized he's approved of, he's held in love. I mean, that's where the healing happens. That's where those old dynamics dissolve.
And it's retroactive, and it spreads out. Like the situation with Michael has had a shift. All of a sudden, and I don't know if I can maintain it. I'm just loving it right now. So many other things. Dr. Tim told me, he asked me this question. Have you ever heard of do you know what microaggressions are? Did I mention this yesterday?
No, you didn't.
I said,
Go ahead.
I know what that means. And he said, well, why don't you practice a little micro-affection onto yourself? And it got me laughing, and I've laughed about it at other times after the show. But
that's perfect.
Isn't that perfect micro-affection for somebody who likes to beat up on themselves? I know Celinda talks about that. And micro-appreciations, micro-approval, I combed my hair. Good work. It's somehow things are moving into a healthier, knock on wood, thanks to your work. And I was so glad, in spite of all my palaver yesterday, you got something out of it for yourself. I love it.
Well, I join you in receiving and have that which we each received continue to grow and expand through that presence of love. That's, you remind me about one of the most dramatic events, and you've heard me share this before, but we had a young man who, from the time he was 15 to the time he showed up at Heartland in his mid-30s or late 30s, he had not drawn a sober, straight breath in all those years. And it was all about his hate relationship with his father. And it was the second year that he was at Heartland. He was on the support team at Heartland. It was the second year he'd been there full time for 2 years, and we were doing a still point session. And at the completion of the session, what he shared was, all of a sudden, he felt like his energy field go down into the earth as though he had roots in the earth. Wow. And he got that shift. Here the mind shifts into Rachma, and he has a memory of his father. He's laying on the floor breathing, and all of that put together, and he has a memory of his father who's laying on the floor with him as a little kid, bouncing and playing with him and having fun with him. It was the first positive memory that this guy had had with his father ever in his life that he could remember. And then, as Jeanie said, the floodgates opened.
Yeah.
We finished out that intensive season, and he got in his car and he drove to Ohio to see his father, who he'd avoided like the plague since he was 15.
Oh my God.
And they were just back in love, you know. They were just back like nothing had ever happened. And his father, who had cancer and was actually dying, got in the car and drove from Ohio to Heartland the next summer to thank me for the shift in his son, which of course wasn't me. It was the work he was willing to do. But it was just that moment where that shift occurred, and all of a sudden the floodgates started to open of wonderful memories with Dad.
Oh, wonderful.
And so
yeah,
I'm delighted that's open for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact that you bring that energy into the world means we all get that gift on another level as well. So
good.
It is. It's awesome. Breathing with you. It's such a nice thing to breathe. So any other thoughts for today?
No, I think I'm okay. I've got a cat on top of me where I just brought back from the vet with all the tests. He came up while you were talking, and he's lying on me. I lay down so he could crawl up, and I've got a beast, right? You've got your hand in the Avison, and I have a cat.
Awesome. Very cool, young lady.
And that makes me think of another lady that I worked with, and she had never had children. She didn't have any siblings that had children, so she never had nieces, nephews, or anything. So she did not have that newborn experience. But she did have a cat that she adored. And so when I would work with her, I would say, think about your cat. Well, she couldn't just do that. She had to go actually get her cat and put it in her lap and pet it while we were doing worksheets or whatever. And then after so long, she did. And then after so long of a time, she was able to just think about her cat. And so it's, just a process and practice, as Michael says, to develop the skills to where it comes natural. And, whatever you can use or, do, if it's a cat or whatever, take advantage of it to get to that space.
That's great. Good for your client that she knew she had to get the cat.
Yeah, she did. She did go and pick it up and put it in her lap.
That's great.
And they tap into the energy. We do the still point breathing once a month. And probably 6 out of 8 people that are in the still point now have a dog or a cat. And always, when we start breathing, their animal will come up and lay right beside them, if not on top of them. I mean, they like the energy of it. Yeah.
Well, that brings up a whole other question about why do our animals get sick and die? And Michael, you said they pick up our stuff. They pick it up more than we do, or they're more vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, they don't. My take is they don't have the ability to resist it. And animals, the same animal in the wild suffers from very few diseases, but then when they get into a close energetic connection with humans, suffer many, many, many more diseases. And oftentimes die of the diseases that their owners have as well. So it's energy, and they don't have the ability to fight against it. That would be my take. And I think sometimes that perhaps the animal, that's part of their service in life, is just to be there to process the energy, to handle the energy with us, to support us.
Oh, I think so. But
all in the wild, embracing love.
They do die in the wild, though.
Yes, although there are, if you do some research on some of the indigenous societies, they say that what they observed was not animals dying in the wild, but the animals would just disappear, i.e. they'd translate, they'd move from the physical dimension to the non-physical. And there are many accounts in indigenous cultures where they have seen that happening, and that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Oh, I remember you mentioned that before, and I'd forgotten that. Translate. What a beautiful word. Whew. Yeah. Okay.
All right. You have a blessed one, young lady.
Thanks. You too, and I'll be on listening.
Awesome. Blessings. Bye-bye. So, Miss Jeanie, do we have anybody else on the phone queue with a hand up or anything happening in the chat room?
No, it is all quiet. So if someone presses 1, you are first in line, and we have 25 minutes.
Lots of time for conversation. So if you're out there in listener land, if you're on one of those stations where we can't see you, our call-in number is 563-999-3581. You call that number you're listening to the show directly on your phone. And then if you push 1, we'll be having a conversation.
And Celinda's hand went back up, so I'm going to turn her mic back on. 541, you're on the air.
Yeah.
Miss Celinda, do you have a question for us, young lady?
No, I have an observation I want to share with you from the result of your conversation.
Okay.
Aren't we supposed to translate as well? Like the animal?
I think ultimately we could, if we actually stopped killing ourselves and engaging in hostility or fear, that very likely we could get to the point where we could pick our structures up energetically, take them out of this dimension, and bring them back when we choose. That's, there are many who say Yeshua comes to visit them exactly that way. So yes, I believe so.
Very good.
It's been called transfiguration as well, but moving from one dimension to another. And those who didn't have the brain cells for it spoke of Yeshua, spoke of his mother as being ascended into heaven. But translating, stepping up your frequency to another dimension would be, I suspect, exactly the same thing.
And I like what you said. I mean, I really love what you said about when Yeshua came in, he was probably 80% there, but this was his last life to learn the other 20%, was how I interpreted what you were saying. And I love that, too, because as I've mentioned on the show before, I took Jesus off the cross a long time ago, like when I was in my late 30s. But it took me until now to understand what that meant.
Last Christmas, we went, Aria is going to one of the better schools around here, is a Catholic school, and she's going to this school, and so we went to a Christmas play with her, and her comment was, she wasn't interested. We've talked about that's probably coming, getting him off the cross, but it was when she was still in kindergarten, so she'd have been, 4 plus a little bit. And she said, don't they know he grew up? Why is he still why is he still a baby? He grew up. Like she got that one. And I suspect it will probably won't be long before she's saying, hey, let's let him off the cross.
And I don't know if you are on Facebook or not, but I had posted, Susan actually sent us a manger scene, and Aria is playing with it. It's sitting here in the living room. It's not even near Christmas, but it's out here. And she goes, Jesus doesn't have a bed. And so she goes over to her dollhouse and gets a bed out of her dollhouse and puts Jesus in it. So if you see the manger scene right now, he's in a little doll bed.
I love it. And I had one other thought. It brought tears to my eyes when Susan was talking about microaggression and microaffection, because I'd written that down at the time that Dr. Tim said that, and it just reminded me, yes, I forgot about that. That affection that we give to ourselves, that we are basically nurturing ourselves. Ruha is nurturing us and guiding us. And we also are co-creating. We participate in that nurturance and guidance. And I thought, yes, yes, yes. And then when Susan mentioned about the thought about her mother, and Jeanie, you mentioned that other lady and her mother making cookies for her. And that was what I am finding now, that more and more memories of my mom are coming up where she did nurture me, she did care for me, and she wanted to protect me and keep me safe. So I just wanted to share that. And finally, you were talking about you just wanted to go home. That was what I was. I always wanted to go home, and I thought home was my dad's place. Home, I want to go home. I want to go home. And then one of the things that has helping me with that is when I was reading Neil Douglas Klotz and his Hidden Gospel and Original Prayer that I was listened to a lot, and it was the beginning of a shift towards the Aramaic Gospel, I do believe, besides your offering that I had madly written notes down on 30-some years before. But he talks about home is this earth, this physical earth. It's the I can of our co-creative power. And this is our home. We're not supposed to go to some distant heaven off in the future after we die, or crawl back into the womb like the Eastern religions do. My interpretation only now understand. I know it's not all that, but my sense that, I just want to crawl back into the womb of the oneness. And it's not about that at all. It's about claiming our inheritance, this I can dimension of the good earth, and we're here to create Eden and live in the oneness at the same time. And for me, that's just kind of where I am right now, and I know it'll change, but I thought I'd share that with you.
Yeah, if you listen, what I had said earlier in that space was home being the place where we, as human beings, treat each other as humans. And interestingly, right, in the Aramaic language, we are our own neighbor. So when we're told to have Rahma for the Creator, for neighbor, that includes ourselves, holding that space of active present love, or micro affection, macro affection for ourselves is a part of the law. Yes, for sure.
So micro, macro, good show. I love it.
Go for it all.
Bless you too.
All right, young lady.
Bye-bye.
Okay, tell her you said hello, Artie. Bye-bye.
And we have another hand up. And
awesome. Let's say hello.
Joe, 864, you're on the air.
864, over. Roger that, 864 here.
Hey there, young man. Now, here he is. Here's Dr. Joe, outstanding in his field. Here he is. Now, let's see. What can I say to introduce Dr. Joe? An excellent salesman of trucks?
No, not anymore.
How do you be, sir?
I'm good. I thought this
you gave it up, did you?
I was calling him. I did. I let it go. I'm in the process of grieving the truck business, so that's fine. Anyway,
holding the space.
It's just yes. Thank you. It's 12 years in that world, and kind of just and just staying along right now, I think. But I call because I might have the wrong number. I was looking for dating advice. I got a date tonight. I just wanted to.
Oh, we have dating advice. Oh, do we have dating advice? Oh, listen, oy vey.
Can we help you? At all stages too. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. Yes. Well, right now, just working on balance, I would say, and trying to be balanced in my life, and both the the I and the ego. So, how are you
Well,
guys?
it sounds like transitions in many arenas, so holding the space for you, my friend.
Actually, I mean, no, I'm still with Susan. We've been together now for 9 months, which is really nice.
Awesome.
So, yeah. But what's really fascinating is both of us going through some kind of transition with a professional life. So she's actually she'll find out more next week as to where her position stands, and I'm already out shopping around. So,
hold the space at the right.
Oh, you know it will. You know it will.
Project
I think that's
right in your path.
Absolutely. What else? Anything else?
Maybe it's time to teach forgiveness.
I'm either learning that or teaching it. I don't know. What are you talking about? It's a constant.
It's all the same thing.
Never out of that. I'm never out of that classroom there, Dr. Ryce. What the hell?
Neither am I.
Every time I turn around.
It's an awesome gift, isn't it?
Oh, stop it. I mean, if it wasn't for forgiveness, where would I be? I mean, it's just...
I hear you. I often wonder how people who don't have the brain cells to have this conversation, it's like, how do they even survive in this insanity?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of, at least my practice was alcohol or some type of sexual gymnastics, or there's a lot of, I mean, it is, I agree with you. I just, what's fascinating is the level of joy that really is just, well, I'm very pleased to say that I'm looking for, it really is a kind of a ladder. I don't know how I can't get away from some type, three-dimensional issue of a ladder and how good I feel about myself and others, and always welcoming the next rung on the ladder of joy. And it's nice. It's really nice. And unfortunately, I think that I probably do too much thinking.
So you found out the answer to the song.
Oh, which one?
You remember that song, don't you? What's it all about, Joseph? Or no, that was Elfie, wasn't it? It was Elfie, but we could...
Nice. No, I like Joseph better, for sure. How about Joey? What's it all about?
There you go, Joey.
Joseph. Giuseppe. Hey, come on. Solo affamato.
That's pretty awesome to have a human life, isn't it? What a gift.
I love it. It is. Amen, brother. Thank you. And
Jeanie.
How
people can find things to whine about, complain about, attack over, traumatize themselves and everybody else, terrorism, mental, emotional. I mean, the craziness that's on display. It's just like, what are you doing? You have a human life. What?
Yeah. Hey, question over here? Hand raised. What did you hear a bell earlier? Are you ringing a bell? Or was that the call?
No bells here.
Huh. Well, maybe you had like a new sponsor or something.
No bells.
No bells and whistles.
I mean, I show up every day for the radio show with bells on, but no bells.
You should get some, get a, I don't know, a duck or something, maybe a rooster. I don't know.
Actually, I collect bells.
You do?
I do. I've collected bells for years.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's quite a collection. Sure. Oh, there it is. Where's that? Did you hear that one? Oh, that's my phone. I'm sorry. You know what that is? That's my phone telling me something. That's what I thought it was you.
There you go. No, not
me. It's all very technical. No, not you. All right, my friend.
All right. Well, any wisdoms to offer us Well, before you go, any wisdom to offer us?
Oh, wow. Any wisdom to offer the...
what's the sweetest insight you've had in all of the years you've been doing your work?
What's the what now? Strangest?
The sweetest wisdom, the sweetest insight you've had.
Sweetest. Wow, the sweetest insight. Ooh, I think the sweetest insight is to breathe deeply. Really, before I do, or if even though I may, and I guess the other thing too is to that end is there's enough time. This whole idea I have of that there's not enough time to take 3 deep breaths, or I'm going to be questioned as to why are you breathing so deeply? Well, I don't know. It feels like I should do it. I think breathing. I think this certainly from my perspective anyway, and this. My experience that the sweetness of breath and to understand that you are going to do it anyway, and it's a gift, and so you can enhance anytime I can enhance a gift, I guess is the message I would say.
Nice.
And so the breath is a gift. So if I want to enhance something that's already a gift, just do it deeply, do it, slow down and take some deep breaths, and then just be the observer. That's sweet too. Just be the observer. It's not this whole aspect of winning and losing, and I'm not enough, and you're not enough, and together we're not enough at all. So, but of course, as you well know, it's not easy being me. It's not easy when you're perfect in every way. So
that much magnificence in one place is kind of hard to handle. You mean? Yeah. I hear you.
It takes one to know one. Takes one to know one. That's all I can say about that.
All right, my friend. Well, you have a blessed one.
Yeah.
Hey.
See you guys.
Good to be heard. Good to touch in. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. I love it. Who has more fun than we human beings? It was interesting. I was having a conversation with someone this morning. Neighbor here, who lived kind of partway down a hill. Little house that Jeanie was raised in, and up at the top of the hill, there's a big house. The big house on the hill. And the neighbor's probably, I don't know, 75 maybe, give or take. And every Sunday morning he drives out of his garage in his, I'm not even sure what year it was, 2002, 2003 Corvette. And he was telling me this morning that he was a little bit scared because he'd sold his Corvette. He was going out today to buy a new Corvette. He was a little bit scared about it. Well, why? Oh, it's a lot of money. Well, why did you sell that perfectly beautiful 20-year-old one that looked like it was brand new? And I had no idea what Corvettes are going for these days, but he tells me he's going out to write a check for $80,000 for the car. So on Sunday morning, you can drive out of the driveway and drive around the neighborhood and drive it back in and park it in the garage. So just amazing to look at the variety of experience of life and what people invest their life force in. And I'm with you, Joe, on the importance of breathing. And Miss Jeanie, do we have anybody in the phone queue or anything happening in the chat room?
It is all quiet. We have 6 minutes. Somebody press 1.
Six minutes. Time for one solid question or thought or sharing. Well, let me throw out a thought on projection. on how people externalize their power, put it out into the world. And I was listening to someone process the other day, not on the show, and they talked about how this event in their life had created all these things, as though an event has any power to create anything. And in looking at that conversation, what became clear to me is that events are nothing but shadows of created patterns expressing. The events themselves can't create anything. You know, people say, well, you know, that disturbing event happened. No, a disturbing event has never happened in your life. If there's disturbance in you, you know, even the most, what other people call the most wonderful events, you might call disturbing, but there are no disturbing events. They're just events. And they are reflections of a creative process. They can certainly resonate things that we haven't or don't want to deal with. But the things that are resonating us are the things that will produce the results, because the events of themselves are not creative in any way, shape, or form. And when we react to events, you look at that word react. How did you redo an act that was done on a previous occasion? And as one does one's work and cleans up one's belief that something outside of them is the reason that they're in a particular state, then a new level of conscious creation comes into the realm of possibility. So we're here to open the space to support each and every person that we interact with, realizing that we are each conscious creators. And you've heard me say it 100 times, probably the greatest atrocity done to us as human beings and that we bought into is that we've had hidden from us the fact that we are by nature creators, and what shows up is our creation, and it's always the opportunity to reflect back into the creative process in ourselves and clean that up. To breathe and be aware of what's going on inside that generates the construct of the mind we call perception, that if it's based in hostility or fear is always based in corrupt data and therefore corrupting the events in our lives, or the possibilities of what we could make of those events. So one aspect of this work is to really be there to support people knowing that we are creative beings. There's a poem that very aptly expresses that. And it says, one ship goes east, the other west, on the self-same winds that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales that determines the way she goes. If you listen to most people who want to play victim, it's always the circumstance that's got them. It's always the circumstance. Look what they're doing to me. Poor me. And that's a set of mind that will definitely keep on playing in the victim mode. I don't care how many billions of dollars you've got. If the set of the mind is how I'm always somebody's victim, and of course it's a reflection of a power person dynamic. You know, you look at people who play life that way and then look at their parental relationships, look at their power person dynamics. And then you look at the way they victimize others. And yes, it's a chain and it's a projection. And it's time for it to let them go.
Michael?
Yes, sweetheart.
I was looking up that poem, and it's Ella Wheeler Wilcox, and it's got another verse to it. So
go for
one
it.
ship drives east, another drives west, with the self same winds that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales, which tells us the way to go. Like the winds of the seas are the ways of fate as we voyage along through the life. 'Tis the set of a soul, S-O-U-L, that decides its goal and not the calm or the strife.
Mm-hmm. I had heard that before and forgotten it. It was one of the set of the sails that always stuck in my mind. That's so beautiful, so powerful. If you'd send me that in a text, honey, I'd appreciate it. That's cool. Or an email. Yeah, how about reading the whole thing again from the top, just to close out our time, or just right down to the last minute.
One ship drives east, another drives west, with the self-same winds that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales, which tells us the way to go. Like the winds of the seas are the ways of fate as we voyage along through life. 'Tis the set of a soul that decides its goal and not the calm or the strife.
Interesting, the word goal is featured in there, that she focused on that. That's powerful. Just ties right in with the work. Yay, well, thank you for that, sweetheart. I appreciate how you've always got that research mind going and finding information and putting it all together. So, everybody, create the best year yet of your eternal life. It is an awesome gift to give the world, and hopefully your ability to produce that has been enhanced on another level by being part of our community. Have a blessed one.